William and John Hutchinson owned Daisyfield Mill, and also Hutchinson's Guy is along Bury, not far from here, so they obviously owned more mills. Daisyfield Mill had 21,220 spindles, 462 looms. Payday was every second Wednesday, and you sent telegrams if you had any complaints. Milner's, or Milne's brother, Hoyle, so it's the Milnes brothers and Hoyle, Egyptian Mills, which is the Egyptian mill. 10,000 spindles, 461 twists, 334 looms. They were making shirts and shirtings, it says, so you may have to correct me on that, but I'm sure that's a shirt without a collar. Anyway, Manchester Warehouse 34, I know where that is, Faulkner Street. Anyway, you send telegrams to Extract Manchester if your payday was every first Wednesday of the month. Victoria Cotton Spinning Mill also at 30,000 spindles, 520 looms, made Mole's Imperial cards, I'm not really sure what that is, and Openshaw's Albion and Albert Mills, 40,000 spindles, 40,000 spindles, that's unbelievable, making, little reels of cotton and wool, 40,000, that's a lot of machinery, isn't it? That's not including looms, 510 looms. Some of the mills, Bridge Mills in comparison had 18,000. So that's one of the bigger ones, 14,000 spindles. Robert Piers. So these are the mills that were in this area. Samuel Rothwell, Woodhill Bleach Works, John Whitehead, Elton Bleach and Dye Works. There was also Bolholt Print Works and Wood Street Print Works, which was later known as the Elton Cot Dyeing Company. Manchester, UK, 3 videos of time, and today we're going to cover the section of Manchester, Bury and Bolton Canal, which is no longer in existence, and just so we're done with that. But I said it would be part of individual sections, so we're going to get up to where the crossing is, the level crossing for vehicles, so that'll be section 2 of this canal, which we'll get over to Radcliffe, but then we're going to leave and not film the canal until we get down to Preston. So I'll explain that when we get to Preston. It's Kersley, Farmworth area. Down, it's Ringley, the area is actually called. But when we get down to Ringley, we're going to follow the train, you see, through the outward trail. And then we're going to go over to Phillips Park Hall. But Daisyfield Mills, as we walk towards Radcliffe, is on our left hand side. There's a way over where the river is, further down on the left hand side. And behind us was Daisyfield Viaduct for the railway that's disused now. That's the Liverpool and Bolton line. Behind the viaduct was Victorian Mills. You could just see the top of the chimney, but as I walk along the towpath, it's old cobbled stone. There was a stone bridge, like an arched old-fashioned bridge in this area, which went over the canal. path and the road ran into Egyptian cotton mills, and there was also in there was a place called Main Street. Most mills had residents and residential houses nearby, like travelling long distances to work. That is not really possible, you know, in the olden days, as they call it, but no, not like it is today. We'll see that as we move along now, because it's the start of the change of the world. People are getting more spare time to have family holidays, etc. But the railways changed the whole world, the way everybody lives. But they're not in as we start talking about this canal, but they will be as we move along. We're going to explain the railways, Berry Loop. So Egyptian cotton mills makes cotton, of course. The main canal is also here, it's to the right at the moment. On the left is the River Irwell, also a weir for Daisyfield mills, and there's older mills that were disused. Waterside mill was also in this area, and well, there's a lot of mills and machinery. So Newton's first law of motion states that an object remains at rest or continues moving in a straight line unless a force acts upon it. Most objects have many different forces acting on them at all times, but often forces balance. So a book lying on a table, for example, is being pulled downwards by gravity, but at the same rate or magnitude. The table is pushing back against the book, so it's the exact same magnitude from both of those. So that means the book remains stationary. That is a law of physics. Books don't just remain stationary as a sentence. That is the first law. So at rest, if it was a ball would remain stationary. A football in the middle of a football pitch, for example, a ball remains stationary, and so a force acts upon it. It's the same with the canal barges and the trains. So a force has to act upon the train or the canal barge. The ball's weight pulls it downwards, or the object, but the ground exerts an upwards reaction. So the same magnitude once again. So the net force is 0 plus the weight of the barge or the weight of the train. That will be taken away from acceleration. Also, it will make, due to its, let's say, mass, will make the water displace slightly, but that will not affect the speed of the barge necessarily. It will just make the water overflow at certain points, but that does not affect, you know, the motion. Once it's in motion, any object, including the football, its velocity, or its particular combination of speed and direction, I've discussed that before, that continues. So in reality, friction between the ball and the surface would slow it down. So if you kick the ball along the ground or rolled it along the ground, if it's going through the air will have resistance to slow it down. That is the only thing that will stop it. In space, if you kick a ball, it carries on for pretty much forever. So it is actually the forces that react upon it, such as air or rolling along the ground and gravity pulling it, it will stop the motion. So therefore you need energy, like a horse to pull it along, or the ball to roll down a hill, for example. Yeah, or a train needs an engine to push it along, otherwise it will stop. The friction of the tracks rubbing on the wheels will stop the train eventually. A force such as a kick from a boot alters the ball's velocity, a change termed as acceleration. the ball either slows down, speeds up, or changes its direction with or without changing its speed. That is true acceleration. Yeah. It's just an accelerator in a car doesn't, it increases your speed, but as you increase speed faster. So you're changing your velocity. So it should really be called a velocity pedal. So that's the first law of motion. So the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway, the Accrington and Colne line, which is now the modern Metrolink line. Luckily it runs along the side of the canal, the sections that we've seen plenty of now, the Berry area of the canal. So the area is actually called Wob Snab. That's the area that we're actually in. And as I say, the modern Metrolink line runs across where the iron bridge that we filmed in previous canal sections, that's where that's located. It's, funnily enough, not a stone viaduct like most. So it's a bit more modern. It's part of the electrical system, as I said, always has been. We're only introducing railways today, so we'll go more into the electric, diesel, steam, the power, at a later date. Because electrical pylons also we'll start to see they seem to follow along the railway lines and canal lines. Not so much the roads, because you'll see them going across fields and stuff, but it looks like they followed the old railways and the old canals, and then they've been decommissioned, and that's why they seem to be in the middle of nowhere, but they do actually follow straight lines. These canals are really straight, by the way. They probably, it's a short distance from Bury to Radcliffe. If you follow this canal, it's probably the quickest way you can do it on foot or a bicycle, definitely. So just a better view quickly of the mills. This is now the canal. We're actually we've walked through the canal. Saw some old stone walls. I love old stone walls. It's a bit like reading a book of time and history. You can't really write it down, you look at it and you can just see its age, it tells its own story. I don't know.